All right, so here we have our boy. His name is Souplag, and we're going to be hopping into a game on the PS4. A little bit of new territory for us right here, but that's okay. So go ahead and preface this. He's going to be running the Frostborn along with a few talents here. We'll go ahead and get to this point. Beautiful. So, few bones to pick with you already. So first of all, let's talk about our 4 fundamentals of Spellbreak. Okay. M for movement, P for positioning, C and T for class and talents, and we have B. You know what, we're going to call it BS, because this is where my headcanon comes in for bullshit and build synergy. Okay. Big BS right here. Okay. But it's very serious stuff. BS but serious. So movement, more of a mechanical thing. You'll get that as you play. Positioning, semi-mechanical, a little bit of game sense. You'll see the high ground right here. It's going to be your best friend in pretty much all scenarios, for the most part. For class and talents, this is the big one we're going to start off right here. It happens before you even press play to get into the pre-game lobby. So, let's go off of what you have. You have Frostborn. Very nice sniping class. Not the strongest in this patch or in any of the closed beta patches, but it's a little bit stronger this patch. Good for sniping. If you're good at it, go ahead and use it. I know it's a little bit more difficult on the sticks, but that's what you got aim assist for, to help you out. Now, in terms of the other stuff does, what the other stuff does, it has Icicle, which lets you go ahead and scan the area for any nearby enemies. It'll highlight them in red. It won't see through invis though, so something to keep in mind. I actually had a good coaching video on this one for a soup kitchen. So I guess your cousin or your brother, also soup. It's a good one to go off of. You also have the runic fluency with the scavenger and the vital stone right here. Now, vital stone costs 3 talent points. It basically gives you a second chance at life, 10 HP, then 30, then 50. Is it ever worth it? Answer is no. It's never worth it. Choose something else. You'll thank me later. You can go thirsty. You can go recovery. If you get to the point where you're just about dead and you pop your vital stone, you're pretty much dead already. You're just delaying the inevitable. Because all you can do is run. You can't use your runes, and the other guy probably has both those things anyway. So he's going to catch up with you and just kill you anyway. So in a solo game, or in any game for that matter, not a good choice. So we want to get you off of this vital stone as quickly as possible. Again, recovery and thirsty would be a much better option. Scavenger, it's okay. Dexterity is better, in my opinion. They're a little bit more even than what I lead you to believe, but dexterity generally is going to be a little bit better. It just reduces your mana cost on your levitate. It's also a 1 cost, and it's just a great talent all around. Runic fluency, easily best of this kind of talent in the game. Right now, extra rune charge, good choice there. Easy peasy. That's your class and talent. Now, build synergy, what are you going to be looking to do while you're in the game? We'll get to that later. Pretty much touched on all of them right here. We'll get on the BS again as you drop in. So you choose to go into Gritfeld. Very nice choice. You see the Mana Vault coming in right about there. So I'm assuming you're going to want to get around here. Just keep in mind that this whole area right here tends to be pretty contested. There's a lot of chests around too. You always want to land on a chest. Always, always, always want to land on a chest. So keep that in mind. Look around for your enemies. Angle just a little bit further up. What you can do is see where they're landing. You can also see if there's one landing directly on top of you. Good stuff. See, I haven't watched this video before, so you want to keep that in mind. Now, bad pathing right there. I think he sees the person going for the Mana Vault right here. As a general rule, unless you're completely alone and you see no one by you at all, you don't want to land on the Mana Vault. You want to land in a chest. It's more immediate loot, gives you a better advantage. Just overall a better choice. No, tries to line up the frost. Y'all are both Frostborns trying a close range engagement. None of which is very good. You can see this kind of scuff gameplay. If you're up against someone good, you're dead already anyway, so. Holding a little bit too long there. Just gotta get the nerves out. Good noodle. Good. Use that disrespect, boy. My goodness. You see what I'm talking about? Even the noodle's better than a frost in that situation. So things you can do differently. Right off the get-go, if you're not going to land on a chest, land up here on that little bridge. So you have the high ground advantage. You also have a little bit of separation so you can land that frost a little bit better. And other than that, it's just a mixture of dodging the high ground. Like your below ground right here. Look at all those obstacles that you have. Something to think about. Look at this. If this guy goes over here, you have this in front of you. If he goes over here, you have this in front of you. And then the mana vault itself can also block shots. You also have the hill right here. So if he swings around really wide, then you have that blocking you as well. High ground is your best friend, buddy. As a Frostborn, high ground, high ground, high ground. Try to get just... I know you're probably very new. At least you're playing like it, but just get used to not holding your sorceries for very long and just being a little bit more comfortable with each of the gauntlets. You're doing a good job of strafing left and right to avoid the frost shot, so that's good too. You're holding the shot just a little bit too long right here. Right there. As soon as it gets out of your line of view, just go ahead and let go. Go ahead and cancel out with your noodle. You're a little bit late to it. The sooner the better right there. Another thing to keep in mind too while I'm at it. You're on flat ground right here. If there's a stone shaper behind you or just coming up, you're in a very vulnerable spot. So even while you're fighting, try to get off the ground as much as possible. You can even get on this bridge up here. That would be better. Or you can go all the way back to that other higher bridge that we talked about. Even if you get up here, like any kind of high ground you can get up, it's going to be better than where you are currently. Other than that, you're a Frostborn, so kind of bad situation. This is why you want to loot first, so you have a close range option. Right now, the only thing you have is a 10 damage noodle. You end up getting all the shots, so good stuff, I guess. Just loot the chest first, make your life a whole lot easier. All right, good choice to stay in there for the loot. You can see you have a significant damage advantage right here. Good hit on the frost. Oh. So you get punished very heavily for that. All right. So again, high ground. You can go up here, even though it's closer range, it's still better. Keep in mind also, your loot is very good right now. You have a legendary belt, and you have a legendary toxic in the early game. You're basically a god. You're basically a final raid boss. So go ahead and push your advantage. If you're comfortable keeping your cursor on your opponent, you can just slam him with that toxic all day long. So close the gap, get that done. Don't always have to use your class. If you think about it this way too, you have a legendary rarity right here in the early game versus a common rarity. This does 45 damage if you snipe a guy. If you work really hard, get your crosshair on the guy and then let go, that does 45 damage. This does more with less effort. So you can think about it that way too. Also, while you're pathing for this fight, first of all, if you got within that distance right there, just use your toxic. If you hold down your frost, it opens you up to damage, which you saw a little bit later there. And you can also path up here. If you want to use your frost, just path up here, get the higher ground, separate out, get a little bit more distance, so it's easier to hit. You don't have to work as hard. And he has lightning as well. So against lightning, you're kind of in a bad spot. You want to close the distance as much as possible. Lightning versus frost it's a very difficult time for the frost player. So good job on the initial one. Use your alacrity to go ahead and close the distance right there. You're already so close to him You holding down your frost gauntlet right here, right there, just use your toxic. There's no reason you should be floating right there. You lose all your shield for it. The cloud's a good option, if nothing else. Trust me. Don't do that, my boy. Okay, good. Good find. Epic Frost. Now you're really cooking. Also, don't freeze the toxic cloud or it'll just stay like that forever. It actually fades away a lot quicker if you just let it be. Good. Didn't forget about the talent. Good stuff. Man, you want to find boots. Boots are your best friend. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shields. Good stuff. All right. Got a rune. Very nice. Even though it's Featherfall, it's better than nothing. You have a pretty good build right here. Which is pretty good. I would run this. I would run this all day. So we can go ahead and talk about... I mean, the only thing I would change, maybe get a fire just because I'm more comfortable with it, but you can run either. So we're going to talk about point number 4, fundamentals. Your BS, your build synergy. All right. So what are we looking to do? You don't have a completed rune, so we're going to talk a little bit about what could really help you here. So you have an Epic Frost and a Legendary Toxic. It's a good build. It's a good build to just take you throughout the entire game, really. You have a long range option, and you have a very close range option. The reason I like Fire is because it covers the mid range a little bit better, but you can also use Frost for that if you're very comfortable with it. Based on the way you're aiming, I would have chosen Fire to cover the mid range, but it's up to you. If you're comfortable doing Frost and you're landing your shots, you can do that. In terms of what you can use, what you're weak to. You're weak to mid range. Your Toxic spray is going to go a little bit too wide for you to get any sort of big damage off on anybody. And your Frost, you need to be deadly accurate with it at mid-range to be able to use it well. So that's where you're lacking. What you can get is a Shadow Step, SS for Shadow Step, a Dash. Very, very much lower on the list. You can get a Flight. Really, these 3 runes are a good trifecta. Those are the 3 that you want. Okay, Featherfall is kind of trash. Invis is kind of trash for your build. Shadow Step even lets you get some free frost shots on if you time it right. So that might be your first pickup. Dash is a good secondary option. And Flight if you can't find either of these 2. So just recognize you're bad at mid-range fights just by virtue of your build. Unless you pick up a fire and loot accordingly. Other than that, you just need boots and an amulet. You'll be all right. So here we go, going in. You also want to find as many armor pots as you can. Your pathing's okay. I would recommend not staying on the ground so much. You want to be jumping around. You want to be levitating just a little bit here and there. Okay, Invis is better than Featherfall. Good upgrade. Yeah, just jump around, levitate a little bit, stay off that low ground. Ooh, that's the one you want. Yes, please. We want that all. No. No. You hurt me. You hurt me, sir. I'm actually so hurt right now. The Shadow Step's your best option, buddy. Good, got the alacrity. Keep in mind, using your forward motion is going to make you move a whole lot faster than doing this diagonal thing that you're doing. It might be a little bit different on the sticks, but Something to keep in mind. Going straight on is going to be a whole lot better. All right, get that recharge into Vital Stone. Oh, yes. The new player starter kit. I love it. Seriously, just lose the Vital Stone as quickly as possible. Gosh, I forgot how much I strafed whenever I was a controller player. Not on Spellbreak, but just in general. Like in Call of Duty, left and right. Oh my goodness, they were my best friends. In this game, use your forward movement. Oh, you pass it up again. It's a better rarity too. Oh no. I'm wondering what the end game for the rune is going to be. That's the last time I'm going to complain about it, but I'm going to hurt inside every time he passes up a shadow step. I'm just letting you know now. You're going to hurt me inside. I know there's nothing that we can do about it right now. Nothing we can do about it right now, but I'm just a little hurt. Getting kind of emotional. Good. Easy mana vault. Just something to be mindful about. Ooh, the 50 HP Vital Stone already. Nice. Okay, just keep in mind right here that you're in the lower ground situation. If a Stone Shaper gets in, you're kind of not in a good situation. Or that can happen too. Just need a little bit better reaction time. You see that field? You want to get out. There's the Stone Shaper. Oh, you guys are both new. Oh my goodness, you guys are both new. Not a bad thing to be new. It's just there's a whole lot of knowledge that can help you out so much. There he is. Go for it. There you go. All right, so things you can do a whole lot better. So we talked about being on the low ground. You want to stay on that bridge and scan for your enemies as much as possible. It'll help you see the guy who's trying to stun you before he sees you. Instead of invising right here, you do a good job of at least you get the invis off while the line of sight is broken. But instead of staying on the ground, you want to loop up here. That way you take out his Stone Shaper and you have free snipes on him all day. You can also see where he's moving too, while being a whole lot safer. That's the major gripe right there. Now, for some reason, he stops to hit the talent because he sees you go, and you're also invis, which lets you charge up the frost. So, if you recognize that he's gonna make that misplay, then that is a good move. I would still like it for it to be up here on the bridge, but you at least have the good idea of what to do once you're there. He stays there for some reason. Just keep in mind that better players are going to react a whole lot faster, and they're not going to let you get that frost off. So high ground, high ground, high ground. Positioning 101. Other than that, looking around, see that guy right there. Charge up your frost. Easiest shot in the world. He's dead. You don't need to throw that. Be confident in your shots, buddy. It's also recognizing what kind of damage you're doing. 3 frost snipes are enough to kill anybody. Just about. I mean, let me look at the damage you're doing from 1 frost snipe right here. Yeah, you're doing 66. So, I mean, 3 times 66, that's like, what? That's 198 damage. I mean, that's just about enough to kill anybody, unless they have a legendary belt. So 1 more frost snipe, and you're good to go. Don't even need to do that. You're fine. And you saw that he didn't really get any health ticks up there. I mean, yeah, you're fine. Now, what I would do here, go ahead and get his smaller shield pots. Replace the health pots with those. Typically, shield is a better resource to keep on hand than health, just because you lose it more immediately. If you're losing health, then you're pretty much already close to dead. So just go ahead and swap out slot 2 or 1 with the small shield pot, and you'll be much better off. There you go. Nicely done. All right. Now where you choose to do your shield right there, I would rather you do it inside that house. Just because you're out in the open, people can see you. And you may not know it. They can be lining up a frost shot. They can throw a boulder. They can stun you like that guy did before. Higher ground with some cover. It's always better. You can also move while you do it, so make sure you do that too. Good moving around. Good. It's tempting as a new player to get that feather fall. You think you have all the high ground and all the advantage, but you're really just opening yourself up. So good job not to take that. It's actually the second worst rune in the entire game, in my opinion. All right, good. We have a nice little talent to go. You're looking around. That's good. Look around 360, just a little bit faster. You'll get more comfortable with it. Good deal. Hopping around. I don't know what that is. Get that off my screen, please. Thank you. Teabagging for confidence. You're actually already talented up. And better yet, you're looted up as well, too. So unless you're looking for a different rune, which I'm assuming you're not because you've passed up a whole lot of better options, and you have a legendary. So, I mean, there's nothing that you can find in a regular chest that's going to give you any better loot. You have epics, which is what the regular chests drop at the highest rarity. So the only thing you should be looking for is people to exile, and that's it. I mean, you're good, you're looted, you're actually filthy rich. I mean, you're fine. So you're just hunting right now. You're on the prowl, hunting around. Don't even need it. I'm no longer going to comment on any chests he opens. Just having fun with the crouch mechanic, I guess. Probably one of the more useless things in the game, but it can be handy in some situations. Just the amount of times that it's handy is just so low. Still looking around. Okay, looking around for people. Also notices that the zone is going to be closing. Good, stay off that ground. Keep high ground, good job. It's funny, as the game goes on, it's like these players, the mind just sort of clicks. And you realize, hey, I need the high ground. If only we could translate that to the early game as well. Because the early game, arguably, it matters even more. So yeah, no need to loot. I know that's just the dopamine rush that you love to get from looting. It's tempting, but it's not serving you any purpose. All right, I said I wouldn't comment on that anymore. I apologize. Doing a good job of keeping the high ground. I like it. We're hopping around, keeping our movement speed up. Looking around for our next opponent, behind a wall. Looking around, there's 5 enemies left. Plenty of space for them to be in, too. This kind of circle as well is very wide. So, plenty of opportunities to be outside the white zone. Just keep that in mind. And with map mechanics, look for wedges. If you press M if you're on a PC, and I guess that's the select button if you're on DualShock. You see a fire over there. That means there's someone out there. You see someone to your right as well. Going to go ahead and pop the invis while he is not seen. Charging up a frost. Not a good position to charge up the frost, but that toxic shouldn't have worked, but it did. Gave you a little bit of insight right there. If you're going to charge up a frost, do it from high ground and not while you're around cover. He's already close enough as well that you can go ahead and slap some toxic in his face, so don't even worry about the frost right now. Now there he is. This is a good opportunity for frost, but he's going to choose to go by. Now, he might just be third person peeking this just to kind of hide a little bit, but typically you want to go ahead and just shoot him. Just shoot him with the frost. You might as well. And you realize you're being ganged up on right here. you go to the worst position that you can. So what do we want to do right here? The hide and peek, not the best option in the world. Maybe for Fortnite, but not for Spellbreak. High ground is king in this game. It doesn't matter if you're seen or not seen. High ground is king. So there's a tower right here. Go ahead and work your way in and just get to the top. You realize that you're in a third-party situation. There's more than one person to keep track of. It's very difficult to deal with as a Frostborn. So go ahead and just get on up there so you can see the vision and see what your next move can be. Now going forward right here and into the pit is probably the worst thing you can do. The reason being is because this man, I'm not sure what class he is, but he could be a number of things. Could be Stone Shaper, could be Toxicologist, could be Pyromancer, could be any number of things. I think he's a Conduit, which is even worse too. So stay out of this enclosed area. If he's Conduit, he can just lightning bolt you. If he's Pyro, he has area control. If he's a Stone Shaper, he's down here and he's slamming your butt into the ground. Low ground, very bad place to be. And this man over here behind you somewhere is definitely a Pyromancer. And he is going to eat you for lunch. So don't go in the low ground. Invis while you can. You're lucky you're not followed up on. Gets back to the high ground. Good stuff. Pops the second invis to keep the perma invis going. You're in a hidden place. Recharge your shields right here. There you go. The tooltips are coming in pretty handy. Nice job, proletariat. Probably didn't hear him, but he said shh, and then followed with an it. So he sees the zone coming in and has to go through the toxic cloud. It actually dissipates if he waits just a little bit longer. It's just it's comfortability and getting used to the timing of everything. He'll learn that as the game goes on. He hears a shield going on, gets the invis off. This guy's sitting right here. Oh, this is beautiful. Don't hesitate to pull the trigger right there. It can go very wrong very fast. Just go ahead and let it go. All right, this guy's got stone. Very careful right here. Good kill steal. All right, again, we're in a low ground situation. Even from the very start of this, you're up here. Get the snipe off. Stay up there. Don't go down there. You can get another frost snipe off. You might be used to cleaning up with a shotgun from other games, but the frost is such a good gauntlet. You can easily, especially with overcharge, just fire from above right here. Also, there's at least 4 enemies left, including this guy. So you don't want to be in any open place like this over here, because someone might be over here trying to get you. Someone might be over here trying to get you. Someone could be over here trying to get you. So just eliminating the risk out of this. Keep the high ground. And snipe away. You going in right here just burns mana and it burns your positioning. So you see that guy right there coming on up. He's also new. There's a guy right above you. You just canceled out his fireball. Good, you go to the roof. You're just dead locked into this guy, aren't you? High ground, high ground, high ground. You're down here below. You need to get up here. Even if he... Let me pause the video real quick. Back to a little part that I saw. Right there's good. Even if you get up here, you can easily get up here and you have a little bit of cover right here and you're safe from Stone Shapers and most of Toxicologists for the most part. So any sort of high ground you can get. Good. Pop the invis. Getting a little bit higher. Ooh, new area discovered. See the zone coming in. You got to go into the fort. Pop an invis and sneak in. There you go. Nicely done. Keep that high ground going. You can levitate a little bit better. All right, you're close range like that. Aiming the frost is so hard right there. Just use your toxic if you're already that close. You're going for the money shot, going for the montage. You hit that one, but he would already be dead if you're using toxic. Good job keeping up here. Go ahead and hop on that. Hop on this little catwalk right here. maybe in this window. There's also some stairs back here. High ground, high ground, high ground. I will say it until you do it. Get in that high ground. You're literally the Anakin and Han Solo meme. All right, good. You get credit for the kill because you popped down the cloud. Wrong, sir. It's a 1v1. So, just because you said that, I'm going to point this out. Focus on this number right here. This is the amount of people that you have left. The X right here means exile. Sound it out. Exile. So, you have killed 5 people. You have a 1v1 because it's you plus another. So, good. You're behind cover. Do you really need to pop the shield? Probably not. Just for comfort, I guess, but you really don't need it. Good, we're hopping out. Maybe don't go in a place so open. If you're playing this strategically, you can go ahead and hug this wall or this wall and third-person peek out of either of these windows. If you see a guy hopping around, you have free shots at him. Also, if you're going to go out here, keep in mind where the high ground is. You have this right here. You have, if you go outside, you're going to see this big tower right here. It has a platform up above there. You can even get on top of the statues as well, on top of the pillars. All of those places could be where this guy's hiding. Like, you can get up here, for instance, and also at the very top of this tower. So keep that in mind too when you're looking for players to exile. Going to loot. Don't loot the final 1v1. Unless you're picking up a quick potion or something like that. That's quick. Don't loot the final 1v1. Okay, we're looking for our players. Good, sneaking around. Don't go in that pit. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. At least get in that window. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, that zone hurts. Drink that big pot. There you go. If you're already, so here's something to keep in mind too. As soon as you drink that potion, it actually gives an audio cue to your opponent if he's close enough. Go ahead and pop the invis and drink it. He can still hear the audio cue, but now he can't see you. So something to keep in mind. Okay, we're hiding. Invis, you hear the frost. Go ahead and pop the invis. Did it a little bit too late there. Just need to be a little quicker. All right, you know, at least I can hear it on my headphones. And you can see it right here too. So he's in this direction. So that means he's either here, 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 or my favorite at the very top up there, which is where you should be actually. So he plays this a lot better than you do. Initially. He's going to shadow step. Maybe he's looking for an outbreak of some kind. He's running Fortitude. He actually didn't see you right there. So with him running Fortitude, don't even worry about your Frost right now. Its damage is going to get negated. If you see a glow right here, that means he has basically free unlimited armor right there. Just go ahead and hit him. Hit him with a quick Toxic Slap or throw a cloud at him if you want to do that. That way it just goes ahead and gets rid of that invincible shield. And then you can line up your Frost if you're at a high ground. What you do right there, not good. You get covered because you're invis. There you go. There's the cloud. Good stuff. That should be your first thought. Don't even worry about the Frost. If you're that close, don't worry about the Frost. Just go for the Toxic. Now you get lucky because he goes ahead and steps right back into your Frost Sorcery. It's not like he had a lack of options to go. He could have went over here and avoided the whole thing and then slapped you, but he went into his sorcery, so he got a little lucky there. If you're in this range right here, if you're in this sort of range, your Toxic is your best friend. Just go ahead and use your offhand. Just because you're a Frostborn class doesn't mean you have to use the Frost all the time. Especially not to seal out kills. So that's about all I got for you here. In terms of movement, I'll go ahead and number it out here. Movement needs improvement. Just getting comfortable going a full forward sprint. Using a different rune other than Invis will help you out a lot. Even Shadow Step, like this guy was using, or this guy, I guess he's right there, is even better. Shadow Step's the best one you can use, really, on Frostborn. In terms of positioning, you're seeing it right here in the low ground. Stay on these walls for as long as possible. It'll help you out in the long run and help you land those frost shots that you seem to be addicted to hitting. So that's something to keep in mind too. Class and talents, never run Vital Stone. You don't even get to use Vital Stone in this entire game. So what did it do? It just wasted 3 talent points. And if you get your Vital Stone popped, you're probably going to get killed anyway. So I would use Recovery or Thirsty, and it opens you up another slot for your 2 slot. Runic Fluency is good. And Scavenger's okay. Dexterity would be better once you get more comfortable with your class. But it's not terrible by any means. Your build synergy is okay. You still have that hole in the mid-range, which I think you kind of feel. You feel like you have to land this frost shot for your mid-range to count for anything. But really, your toxic does more than your frost does at this range. You can get more shots off at least without having so much effort spent into aiming your frost. And also you can just move a little closer and then it's really effective. But you need to keep in mind that you need something to close in that distance. And that's where your rune comes in. Shadow Step or Dash, or even Flight. If you can't find either of those two, is going to be your best friend. Other than that, not a bad start off to your inventory. I like one more big shield pot, probably right here. But it's not really a huge thing. But yeah, work on your movement and rune choice. Work on your positioning. Your talent, don't pick that. And your build synergy, just run a different rune, goes back to 2 and 1. Dash or Shadow Step. Practice with those. As soon as you get good at them, you'll open a whole door possibility. Other than that, that's the end of that coaching session. If y'all have any questions, just let me know in the chat and I'll answer them right now.